In the heart of a small town nestled among the hills stood an old supermarket. It had been there for decades, witnessing the passing of time and generations. Over the years, strange tales whispered among the townsfolk about eerie occurrences within its walls. From inexplicable shadows to chilling whispers, the supermarket bore a sinister reputation. Here are the tales of those who dared to venture into its haunting aisles. Sarah, a college student struggling to make ends meet, found herself working the night shift at the supermarket. It was supposed to be an ordinary job, but as she scanned items at the empty checkout counter, she felt an unnerving presence lingering in the aisles. Whispers echoed from the darkness, and shelves rattled without cause. Ignoring her growing unease, Sarah continued her duties until a figure materialized at the end of aisle 7. It was a child, pale and ghostly, staring at her with hollow eyes. Frozen in terror, Sarah watched as the child beckoned her to follow before vanishing into thin air. Trembling, she summoned the courage to investigate, only to find aisle 7 deserted. But as she turned to leave, a hand grabbed her shoulder, and a voice whispered, "You shouldn't have come here." Mark, a seasoned employee of the supermarket, had seen his fair share of strange occurrences. But nothing prepared him for the night he found himself trapped in the storeroom. As he searched for inventory, the lights flickered and died, plunging him into darkness. Panic gripped his heart as he fumbled for his phone, only to realize it was missing. Alone in the blackness, Mark heard footsteps approaching, slow and deliberate. A voice whispered his name, sending shivers down his spine. Suddenly, shelves toppled over, blocking the exit. Trapped and terrified, Mark screamed for help, but his cries went unanswered. Hours passed before the lights flickered back to life, revealing the storeroom empty once more. But Mark knew he was no longer alone. Lucy, a single mother, relied on the supermarket for her weekly groceries. But one fateful day, she discovered something sinister lurking in the produce section. As she reached for an apple, she felt a sharp pain pierce her hand. Blood dripped onto the floor as she recoiled in horror, only to find the apple now rotten and decayed. Terrified, Lucy tried to leave, but the doors refused to budge. Panic rising, she searched for an escape, but every aisle led her back to the haunted produce section. Desperate, she pleaded for help, but the other shoppers passed by as if she were invisible. Trapped in a nightmare, Lucy realized she was not shopping alone. Jake, a curious teenager, dared his friends to explore the supermarket after hours. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they ventured into the deserted aisles, eager for adventure. But their excitement turned to terror when they encountered a phantom cart roaming the store on its own. No matter how fast they ran, the cart pursued them relentlessly, its wheels screeching against the linoleum floor. Cornered and terrified, Jake and his friends sought refuge in the freezer section, hoping to escape the ghostly cart's clutches. But as they huddled together, they realized they were not alone in the icy darkness. Ethan, a cashier with a troubled past, thought he could escape his demons by working at the supermarket. But when strange occurrences began to plague his shifts, he realized the nightmares had followed him. Every night, he witnessed the same spectral figures wandering the aisles, their eyes filled with anguish. No matter how hard he tried to ignore them, they haunted his every moment, whispering tales of tragedy and loss. Desperate for answers, Ethan delved into the supermarket's history, only to uncover a dark secret buried beneath its walls. As the sun set on the small town, a group of unlikely allies gathered outside the supermarket, drawn together by a shared purpose. Armed with courage and determination, they prepared to confront the evil lurking within. With each step into the darkness, they faced their deepest fears, battling against forces beyond their comprehension. But as they reached the heart of the supermarket, they discovered the true horror that awaited them. In a final showdown between good and evil, they fought for their lives, their courage tested to the limit. And as dawn broke over the town, the supermarket stood silent once more, its secrets buried beneath its haunted aisles. Though the supermarket remained standing, its sinister reputation lingered in the minds of those who dared to remember. but for the brave souls who had faced the horrors within its walls, it was a reminder of the strength found in unity and the power of the human spirit to overcome even the darkest of nightmares.